In this tutorial we're going to be learning how to crochet one of these easy star patterns for beginners. You can use any yarn that you like. Here I've used cotton, acrylic, wool, I've got hand-dyed yarn, I've got a sparkly mohair yarn. Go mad and use up your yarn scraps. I do however recommend going down at least one hook size from the recommended hook size for the yarn that you've chosen to use. To start your star, make a magic ring using your preferred method. I'm going to use the slipknot method. Put your hook to one side of the working yarn and pull out. Rotate your hook 360 degrees, making this twist. Pinch the twist. Then work a chain of 1. We've now made a magic ring. To open up the magic ring, you need to pull on this bottom loop here. And that has opened up the magic ring ready for us to crochet into. As I crochet into the magic ring, I try to work over the top of my tail as I go. You can use any method of magic ring here if you have a different method that you prefer. To start round 1, make a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This chain of 4 counts as 1 double crochet plus 1 chain. Work a double crochet into the magic ring. Now chain 1. Now make another double crochet into the ring and then chain 1 again, and keep repeating this all the way around until you have 10 double crochets. That count of 10 includes this starting chain here, so that's your first double crochet with 1 chain between each of the double crochet. So finish off that round making those 10 double crochets in 10 chain 1 spaces, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. So here I am at the end of round 1, and including my starting chain I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 double crochets with 10 chain 1s between them. My last stitch was the final chain 1. To close the magic ring, pull on the tail until that hole at the centre has closed up. Just like that. To finish off round 1, make a slip stitch in the 3rd chain of this starting chain. So we're not going into the top of the starting chain here because that's the chain 1 space. We're actually going in here. And I'm doing a slip stitch. We're now ready for round 2. Round 2 is only worked in the chain 1 spaces. Slip stitch into the next chain 1 space, then immediately work 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, so in here. 1, 2. Now make a chain of 2. Now work 2 more double crochets back into that same chain space, so in here. Slip stitch in the next chain 1 space. Now work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets all into the next chain space. So 1 double crochet and 2, then chain 2, then 2 more double crochets back into that same space. Now slip stitch in the next chain space. So repeat those steps all the way around until you've made 5 of these star points. They're not pointy yet, but don't worry, they will be. So continue around until you've made 5 of these 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets groups with those slip stitches between them. So I'll meet you back at the end of the round and I'll show you how we fasten off. So I've just made my 5th and final group of 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And I just want to show you where to put your final slip stitch and how to fasten off to make this star nice and neat. So we're actually going to slip stitch into that chain space that's already been slip stitched into. So I'm just going to make a slip stitch here, and then I'm going to cut my yarn, then fasten off by pulling that yarn tail through, and I'm going to tighten this slip stitch up, and then using my hook I'm going to pull that yarn tail back through that same chain space that we slip stitched into, and I find this gives a really nice finish to these stars. So your next step is to weave in your ends, and then you're probably thinking, wait, that looks like a flower and not like this star that's made in the same yarn as this star. Well, what you need to do next is block your star so that it gets those lovely points. If you've never blocked crochet before, I have a great tutorial covering it that I will pop up on the screen. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Meema Makes.